Well, I'm a little surprised I'm going to do this subject because, yeah, it's one I'd like to avoid. 10-foot pole kind of thing, third rail, whatever. This whole race issue. But Captain Awesome just made the dumbest video I think I've ever seen. I mean, it's not dumb in terms of its, incoherent or, incomprehensibly bad English or something. No, it's this articulate explanation of complete nonsense. I mean, it's so bad enough that we have all these morons with their anarchy and their don't initiate violence, government philosophies, and Ron Paul bullshit, and their Federal Reserve did this, and Federal Reserve controls that, and there's all this conspiracy crap and all the rest of this shit, and we can't fix anything. All right, that's all bad enough. But, the guy's got a ton of subscribers, talks to a lot of people, and he just pronounced the most idiotic, imbecilic idea I've ever heard. So his plan is for reparations for slavery, which is an important issue, and I'll try to get to that in the second half of the video, why it is not a non-issue. It is an issue. But anyway, his plan is that instead of paying or giving the money to poor people, we will initiate a exemption from income tax. Now, the only people who would benefit immediately from this exemption are the athletes and the rappers and Oprah and Bill Cosby, all the rich black people, the people that have made it, that have overcome the limitations, the success stories. Okay, so they get a huge tax break, gigantically huge. And all the blacks, the poorest, get absolutely nothing. And his logic is that somehow the blacks are going to have an incentive now to make more than $40,000 so they can get the tax break. I think if a guy is sitting there making $15,000 now at McDonald's, or working in a nursing home making $8.50 an hour, I think that guy already has enough fucking incentive to be making $40,000 a year. Yeah, I think he'd want to be there fucking ready. I think he'd want to be at $30,000 a year. And it's just idiotic that they need more of an incentive, this theoretical incentive that, you can save $1,000 when you reach $40,000, and you'll be able to save $3,000 when you reach $43,000, and you'll be able to save $10,000 when you, reach $60,000, or whatever this stupid, idiotic equation is. I mean, just so preposterous that this would create any incentive, any real-world incentive to help anyone who is poor. I mean, if you want to help the poor, what we should do is we should pay black Americans. I think we should pay all kids, but maybe we should start with black Americans, because the key thing that they have been denied is a fucking culture, an educated culture, a culture that has values that would appreciate such things as science and an education and being a productive citizen. Okay, that's what's been denied them. The key to slavery was keeping slaves ignorant, keeping them illiterate. All right, that's what we're fighting. That's the deficit that remains. We can't undo slavery. We can't undo the annihilation of the American Indian. So there's no point in trying to undo any of that, because we can't do anything for the people that really suffered the harm. Okay, but there is some real harm, residual harm, left over from blacks being denied a culture. And we can give them back that culture. So if we start paying black Americans $50,000 to graduate from high school, yeah, okay, you want to make it up? That'll make up a difference. That's a real incentive. That's a real incentive to become a more productive, more informed, more educated human being. That's an incentive to put down the rap crap and put down the basketball and quit the bullshit and stay in school or get on the internet and learn. That's a real world incentive. Giving people a tax break, that's bullshit. A tax break they can't receive unless they're making $40,000 a year is just nonsense. Like I said, what person who's making $20,000 today doesn't want to be making 40 already? They already have that incentive. So anyway, it's just the stupidest moron. I mean, I can't believe how idiotic that proposal is. It's just so vacant of any, not even a grain of logic. Nothing. It is such a disgusting and insulting nothing. It's nothing. It does nothing. It's an insult to the real harm that's been done, and it's an insult to call it a repair, to give more money to rich black people. I mean, it's stupid. That doesn't compensate for anything. If we paid them not to have kids they can't take care of, that would be a good idea. We paid them not to do drugs, that would be a good idea. We pay them to become educated, that would be a good idea. That would be reparations that make sense to me. And so anyway, let's you know, as you pointed out, yeah, there is an obligation, and you know, how much we should pay. But obviously, you know, look, if you look at the statistics, Bill Gates is as wealthy as all of Black America combined. So let's not pretend that like I said, they would gain nothing from this. Like I said, we could count on our you know, you know, fingers and toes how many people would gain any real benefit from any kind of tax break, income tax break. All right, so anyway, like I said, this is always going to be a difficult subject because it's not, to me, it's never been about race. I mean, I'm a culturalist. I have no use, I guess I'll say it, I have no use for black culture. I hate rap music. I hate untied shoes. I hate pants that don't fit. I hate breakdancing. I hate all of it. I mean, there's not an ounce of it I like. You know, I can't stand it. I can't stand the slang. I can't stand the bastardized English. I hate every bit of it. Yeah, I got no use for it. And it's not an issue of race, it is an issue of culture. I don't have any use for Muslim bullshit either. If a woman's going to be in America, then she fucking is not going to be wearing a fucking goddamn burqa. I almost feel like you'd shoot them on the street, okay? Because it's an offense to our culture. It's a defense, it's an offense to the freedom to walk around. Like I said, if blacks walked around in chains, I mean, you know, it would be like offending us, like somehow we did something to them. And we aren't, you know, we respect women. We give them rights. We don't force them to wear burqas. So you want to do that in your own house, it's fine. But don't bring it on the street. So yeah, I'm a bigot about a lot of cultural crap. And it's, like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with race. Race is an irrelevancy. But culture isn't. Culture is what we have to live with each other around and in. And there's got to be, if the values aren't similar or they aren't even, you know, connected in some way, then obviously people are going to have a hard time living together. I mean, I grew up in the South, and I couldn't stand the people who lived in the South, okay? The white people in the South, the rednecks, whatever you want to call them. I hated those motherfuckers. I hated the stupidity. I hated the cruelty. I mean, I used to see these people. I mean, they'd, you know, put animals in a garbage can and poke them with a stick. I mean, just mindless, sick, depraved behavior, and it was just common, and it was disgusting. I mean, I was so grateful. I loved the weather in the South, but I could not stand that culture, and it was such a liberating experience when I moved to the Northeast and realized that human beings were actually human beings, that they weren't these animals, they weren't these savages that I knew down in the South. And so anyway, that's the, you know, like I said, this isn't a subject I like because there's really no winning. I mean, if you defend blacks, then some people are going to hate you, and if you like I said, there's just no way to win. You know, because I mean, I can't. You know, everybody can say these kind of things, but yeah, there's not a racist bone in my body, so to speak. I mean, I have no perception of black or Mexican or what. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what color your skin is. It's all about how you behave. I mean, I've never thought for 1 minute, oh, I have to behave like, you know, a European, you know, because I've got European descent or because my family's been in this country for 400 years. Like that somehow, do I look like I'm, you know, I'm not wearing a powdered wig or something. I mean, I'm not dragging any of that with me. I mean, I never even considered in my whole life whether I was more German or more English or more Irish or more Italian. I mean, it never even occurred to me to worry about it, and then to even think about I should somehow incorporate that into my behavior or how I interact with people, that I should wave some fucking stupid flag. Well, fuck that shit. I was always happy or proudish to be an American. I ain't so proud anymore, just because of what it stood for. And that was enough. You know, that was all the culture I needed. I didn't have to be about hot dogs and hamburgers and apple pie or any of this other crap. It was about ideals.
And I just don't understand people glued to all this cultural crap and all this ethnic crap and all this shit. It's just bullshit. And if they want to play in that world, that's fine. But yeah, I'm going to have some bigotries towards some cultures that suck.